why you're like, yeah, it's not my time yet.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the optimism, honestly, though.
If it is, if the worst did happen, I wouldn't care. I lived a full life, such a full life. I lived everywhere, been everywhere.
What are some of the highlights?
Oh, wow. Weird things now. The highlights have sort of changed since the diagnosis.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you have said before, and then what is it now afterwards?
The highlights of my would be the parties and the really good times I had.
Yeah.
Rock concerts that I went to.
Yeah.
Things like that, right?
Yeah.
Things like, but now there's things like, I remember one time when I was in Mexico, I was standing on the beach and I watched the sun go down over the ocean.
Yeah.
And it was just this huge burning ball of red going,
Yeah.
and it looked like it was sinking. Amazing. Just an amazing vision in my mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Turquoise waters and watching the sun go down, sinking in the sea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like that. That's a highlight. The highlight, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny how those things have changed now. Because if you think that, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got this beat, right? But there's a chance anything can go wrong. I'm going under the knife in surgery, right? And shit happens. So now you start noticing things that you wouldn't notice before, right? You start noticing, well, where I live, I walk along the ridge, I can see the mountains perfect, right? In the morning, sometimes those mountains look like they glow when they have snow on them.
I know.
They just have this sort of almost a purplish pinkish hue, and they look like they're glowing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. For the
Stuff
sunrise.
like that. You notice, I start to notice some of the beauty in the world now that I didn't really pay attention to that much before diagnosed, right? Pre-diagnosed. Right?
So the challenge then would be, what would
I've
you
also noticed my stress levels, believe it or not, have gone down.
Okay.
All the small shit doesn't bother me anymore. Right? I see people getting upset or irate over something so ridiculous that's so not in their control at all. And I just now I'm why let it be under control? Why let it
Speed
get you
and red
upset?
light camera in
And
300
so I'm not
meters.
hindered by
Speed limit
a whole
is
bunch
70
of crap
kilometers
that
per
I used
hour.
to be, or where I jump in on it and say, fuck, right? Oh, this is the worst thing ever, right?
Yeah.
What a
And
crappy
red light
day I'm
camera
having
in
right now.
100
It's like,
meters. Speed
right?
limit is
Yeah, it's
70 kilometers per hour.
It doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
So in some ways, it's made me a better person. And I still have the stress of I'm gonna be a human, a laboratory guinea pig for the next year, right? But I'll beat it, and I'll be back to me, and maybe COVID will be over. So hope's at the end of that tunnel, right? I can't see wearing masks for the rest of my life. It's horrible, right? My other attitude is the world is kind of shit nowadays, right? If I can leave before it's total shit, then I'm not going to be too upset either, right?
Gotcha. I was going to ask you earlier, what would you say to the people who were where you were before this whole shift, where you're now able to slow down and see a little bit more of the beauty that we typically pass by without noticing? What would you say if you had the opportunity to those who are still on that side to help them access where you're presently
Exactly
at?
what I just said to you.
Yeah.
But it just takes the time to look around, right? One lesson in life you can never ever forget is don't sweat the small shit. And the second part of that is it's all small shit, right? If it's beyond your control, then why even get worried about it, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Sure.
There's no sense getting upset or, and just look for those little things that really stand out. And look for those. There's so many little moments you have in life. Here's something that's happened since I've got cancer. Everybody in my neighborhood I know. I help the old people all the time, right? Like if they need something, I do it for them. They need a shovel or whatever. I throw a block party every year. I did up until last year.
That's amazing.
For 5 years in a row.
Amazing, yeah.
280 people would show up
Yeah,
for this block party every year.
yeah.
Neighbors that had lived next to each other,
Yeah.
they lived next to each other for 15 years and they'd never really talked, were now sitting at a table drinking beer and wine and eating hot dogs and hamburgers and talking. So as a result, I brought our whole neighborhood together, the whole manor. Knows everybody in the manor. You could ask, you know, Gary and Casper, that's my little dog. Everybody knows me.
That's amazing.
Right? Anybody in the whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
And since I've been diagnosed with cancer,
Yeah.
all of them are doing things like they're bringing me Sure drinks, high protein drinks to help
Yeah.
me battle my cancer.
Yeah.
Right? They won't take money.
Yeah.
They're giving me money
Yeah.
towards my cancer. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I never knew I had that much support.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all from things that I had done earlier that, you know, that I just really
Yeah.
had no plan on doing. It just
Sure.
happened, right?
Yeah.
The one girl said to me 6 years ago, Gary, you know everybody in the neighborhood. You talk to everybody. You're such an extrovert. Why don't you go out there
Yeah.
and throw a block party or something?
Yeah.
So I thought about it. I
Yeah.
didn't do it that year, but the next year I did. And it's just grown and grown and grown ever since, right? It's huge now. It's crazy.
That's
We got
amazing.
cases of wine and flats of beer and
Yeah.
pop and chips.
Yeah.
People bring food. We
Yeah.
have like 3 12-foot long tables.
Yeah.
And they're totally full of food. People bringing salads and right.
That's amazing.
Every year
Yeah.
that I have it, I set up all the chairs, I set up all the tables,
Yeah.
tablecloths, bring out all the barbecues because
Yeah.
we need more than one now,
Yeah.
right? To
Yeah.
keep up.
Yeah.
And all the kids play in the neighborhood. And all the
Yeah.
parents sit down and have a laugh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it turned into a real big thing. So, but we didn't have it last year, so we won't be able to have it this year. But you know, that's okay.
I'm going to ask you a request.
What's that?
Before I do,
Yeah.
I'd like to encourage you to say no if it isn't your dynamic.
What's that?
When I'm not driving my Uber,
Yeah.
I facilitate a lot of content online,
Yeah.
especially revolving around how we can intentionally meet with, connect with other human beings
Yeah.
that we pass along the way from our neighbors
Yeah.
to our coworkers, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I come across a conversation in my Uber where I'm like, I would love to use the video of our conversation
Sure.
to share with my followers, just to say, here is some encouraging ways of considering.
Sure.
So that's what I'd like to do, but I don't do it without permission.
Yeah. go
Permission
ahead.
is really important.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you feel comfortable signing a consent form, Gary?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love the caliber of the conversation. Like, this is juicy. I'd love to share with my followers, but I do value consent immensely.
And it's all,
Dependence at the bottom there.
yeah, it's all good stuff.
It is. I mean, like, and the reason why I wanted to ask you is because it's also a lot of personal information about you, you know, about what you're going through with your cancer struggle and so on like that. And I wanted to honor your privacy that way, if that was also important as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think like you're saying, it's those reminders along the way, from especially those who are at a specific point in their life where they can almost remind us and say, don't forget to smell the roses while you have the opportunity to do so.
Yes, and yeah, like I said, it's all in your attitude. Being positive is very important.
It's something I think a lot of people desire more of, but struggle to get to or experience. You know?
And sometimes you don't realize it until you're in a predicament that is potentially life-threatening.
Devastating.
right?
Yeah.
But how how you approach everything
Yeah.
is going to make the world a difference. It's going to make all the difference in you.
And I think I really appreciated hearing that from you, because it's
Yeah.
not, it's almost like people may come to visit you to console you, but they leave encouraged because they're like,
Yeah.
okay, he's got more life than I'm living with right now, you know?
I'm dealing with it, I think, pretty well. That's what they tell me.
Well, no, I mean, it's been a
That's what they
short...
do. My whole team is like, wow. They are. They're like, wow, you can still laugh, and you know, I'm still walking 5 miles a day.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, good for you.
Yeah.
I said, well, I will. For as long as I can, I'll keep doing that.
Your diet has changed significantly, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. I'm eating a lot of smoothies.
Yeah.
A lot of cream soups. The next
Yeah.
one at the top of the hill, you turn left. The very top.
Okay.
Four-way stop.
Okay. And is that working better? Or is it still painful?
I've only lost 12 pounds in 3 months.
Okay.
And with
Okay.
my limited ability to eat,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. The doctor says I'm doing everything right.
Okay.
He's actually impressed.
That's awesome.
Sorry, my handwriting is not the best.
Hey, that's okay. I'm actually just thrilled to spend the time with you. It's at the stop sign.
Turn left, and then
Awesome.
turn left again right after. And
Right on.